Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.
Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell was a legendary inventor, famously known to invent the telephone. He learned the visible art of speech, and his mother homeschooled him while nurturing his great problem-solving skill. He was interested in studying human voice and set up a workshop after their family moved to Boston. There he was backed by local investors to start working on a device which aimed at the telegraphic transmission of voice in different frequencies. During these experiments, he became interested in transmitting human voices through wires, and hired an assistant, Thomas Watson, who was a skilled electrician. Their partnership boosted the experiment, and they soon transmitted their first voice message through wires. He further opened a company called Bell Telephone Company to produce telephones. There he also invented the graphophone, some primary recording equipment, and even contributed significantly in the field of aeronautics. As an inventor, he had 18 patents by his name, and was a part of 12 other patents. He was honored with various awards and accolades, including the Volta Prize and the Legion of Honor by the French government. Bell was a remarkable scientist whose achievements and thoughts encouraged several young scientists. He devoted his life to the benefit of humankind, and his thoughts became guiding force for many. We have collected his most famous quotes to share his views, ideas, and perspectives on several things. Go through the compilation of quotes and thoughts by Alexander Graham Bell that will help you channel your innate intelligence into something truly fulfilling and enriching. Presenting a collection of Alexander Graham Bell's famous quotes and thoughts. Here must read Alexander Graham Bell quotes that will inspire you to achieve your goal. When one door closes, another door opens, but we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the ones which open for us. Sometimes we stare so long at a door that is closing that we see too late the one that is open. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. Educate the masses, elevate their standard of intelligence, and you will certainly have a successful nation. America is a country of inventors, and the greatest of inventors are the newspaper men. I do not recognize the right of the public to break in the front door of a man's private life in order to satisfy the gaze of the curious. I do not think it right to dissect living men even for the advancement of science. So far as I am concerned, I prefer a post-mortem examination to vivisection without anesthetics. My knowledge of electrical subjects was not acquired in a methodical manner, but was picked up from such books as I could get hold of, and from such experiments as I could make with my own hands. In this experiment, made on the 9th of October 1876, actual conversation, backwards and forwards, upon the same line, and by the same instruments reciprocally used, was successfully carried on for the first time upon a real line of miles in length. I would impress upon your minds the fact that if you want to do a man justice, you should believe what a man says himself rather than what people say he says. The nation that secures control of the air will ultimately control the world. Great discoveries and improvements invariably involve the cooperation of many minds. I may be given credit for having blazed the trail, but when I look at the subsequent developments, I feel the credit is due to others rather than to myself. What this power is I cannot say. All I know is that it exists, and it becomes available only when a man is in that state of mind in which he knows exactly what he wants, and is fully determined not to quit until he finds it. A man's own judgment should be the final appeal in all that relates to himself. It is a neck-and-neck race between Mr. Gray, and myself who shall complete our apparatus first. He has the advantage over me in being a practical electrician, but I have reason to believe that I am better acquainted with the phenomena of sound than he is, so that I have an advantage there. It is not, of course, complete yet, but some sentences were understood this afternoon. I feel that I have at last struck the solution of a great problem, and the day is coming when telegraph wires will be laid onto houses just like water or gas, and friends converse with each other without leaving home. Neither the Army nor the Navy is of any protection, or very little protection, against aerial raid. The most successful men in the end are those whose success is the result of steady accretion. I have discovered that my interest in my dear pupil, Mabel, has ripened into a far deeper feeling than that of mere friendship. In fact, I know that I have learned to love her very sincerely. From my earliest childhood, my attention was specially directed to the subject of acoustics, and specially to the subject of speech, and I was urged by my father to study everything relating to these subjects, as they would have an important bearing upon what was to be my professional work. Such a chimerical idea as telegraphing vocal sounds would indeed, to most minds, seem scarcely feasible enough to spend time in working over. I believe, however, that it is feasible and that I have got the key to the solution of the problem. Morse conquered his electrical difficulties although he was only a painter, and I don't intend to give in either till all is completed. It is hardly an exaggeration to say that oral teachers and sign teachers found it difficult to sit down in the same room without quarreling, and there was intolerance upon both sides. To say, oral method, to a sign teacher was like waving a red flag in the face of a bull, and to say, sign language, to an oralist aroused the deepest resentment. The day will come when the man at the telephone will be able to see the distant person to whom he is speaking. Don't keep forever on the public road, going only where others have gone and following one after the other like a flock of sheep. Leave the beaten track occasionally and dive into the woods. Dumbness comes from the fact that a child is born deaf and that it consequently never learns how to articulate, for it is by the medium of hearing that such instruction is acquired. When one door closes, another opens, but we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which has opened for us. The only difference between success and failure is the ability to take action. The achievement of one goal should be the starting point of another.